Welcome, everyone. We are currently November 15th. This is the day I promised that we are going to start the Data Expert Free Data Engineering Bootcamp kickoff. And we will be publishing the first video in about 5 hours from now. And every video going forward should be expected at around 5 p.m. Pacific each day. There's a schedule at dataexpert.io that you can check out, but let's get into this. So welcome to an intense 6 weeks. You're going to learn a lot over the next 6 weeks, especially if you commit and dedicate yourself and actually give your full effort to all of this. If you can really focus and put in the 1 to 2 hours a day of time that I'm asking from you and treat this like the data engineering gym, if you can do that, you will find that you will be able to just grow immensely technically. And by the end of the year, you are going to be like, wow, I am really good at this stuff now. So let's dig into what we're going to cover today. So we're going to cover a couple different things here. We're going to cover why you made a great decision joining this program. It's a really good one. Talk about how to get the most out of this boot camp. It's going to come, I know 6 weeks sounds like a lot of time, but you're going to blink and it's going to be over. And you're going to be like, wow, that was a lot. And then we're going to be covering the curricula and the boot camp structure. Then we're going to be going over the difference between this bootcamp and the paid one, because I have been getting an obscene number of DMs about that, because there are very big differences between this bootcamp and the one I'm doing in January. They do not replace each other. If anything, they complement each other. And if you do both, you would, in February, be very well set up for an amazing opportunity. We'll talk more about study groups and how they work. And then we'll talk a little bit about policies and structures. There's not that many policies and structures here because y'all didn't pay me anything. So let's get into it. So why you made a great decision. So I've been doing boot camps for about 18 months now. I have trained over 1,500 data engineers in data engineering. I've helped hundreds of data engineers land jobs or get promoted across the spectrum, not just entry-level jobs, talking about people getting promoted to senior engineer, people getting promoted to staff engineer. I've helped a lot of different engineers along the way, and we take engineering very seriously here. And keeping in mind that like all of this content is going to be on YouTube for at least the next year. So make sure to take advantage of it. Then I might take it down December 2025. We'll see. But make sure that you know that it's not just going to be up here forever. You want to act with a sense of urgency with this content. I have a goal here to help 1,000 data engineers get jobs by February 15th, whether that be through teaching them on YouTube here or through my paid bootcamp in January. Those two things together will be amazing. And I really do think that we'll be able to get there because our cohort is over 10,000 people. And I know that there is going to be a lot of very hungry people looking to learn data engineering here. And yeah, get ready. This is going to be a really exciting time. So how to get the most out of this bootcamp. Keeping in mind that if you're just here to learn information, like I kind of don't want you here. I kind of want you to be thinking about how to make friends, how to engage, how to be part of the community, how to do all that stuff, because it's like boot camps are not really about the information as much as you would think. Not to sound cliche, but it's really about the friends that you make along the way. So we have different channels in Discord for the different regions of the world that you can go into. And we're going to be adding a little feature to the Discord bot pretty soon that will also allow you to create and join groups with people, so that then you can talk with people maybe either over email or over LinkedIn or whatever. There's all those different options that you can potentially do. So definitely check out that. And so you want to be social, make some friends, watch all the videos, do all the homework. That's going to be like the basic expectation here if you want to like get value out of this, right? And like obviously some of you have full-time jobs, some of you are parents, some of you have like, you know, there's a bajillion trillion different things that are going on for each one of you, and you all have different circumstances for like how you do things. So like I don't expect all of you to do the try hard. So for the try hard, like after every video, post what you learned. Take a slide or a screenshot from the video, post it on LinkedIn, post it on Twitter, post it on Instagram, and tag me, and I can help you get some more reach, and we can grow your brand together. right? Because my like and my comment makes your post go a lot further. And then also give your full effort on the homework. Really try. The homework is not easy. The homework's not easy. The homework, like for most people, if you think about it, like each week here, you're going to be spending, roughly speaking, about 8 to 10 hours watching videos. And then it's going to be another 8 to 10 hours doing homework. And then like if you are a little bit more entry level, if you do the homework, like it's not going to be 8 to 10 hours. It's going to be more like 20 hours. Like if you want to actually do all the homework as well, keeping in mind that that's the goal here. This isn't like a, some people think that this boot camp I'm doing for free is like some sort of like halfway boot camp that's like a teaser for the next boot camp. It is not. This is the same material that I covered a year ago in my second boot camp back in July of 2023. And we're republishing that content now because no one's watching it. And so this is a full boot camp, So understand that like if you give your full effort here, you will be rewarded. So curricula, I think this is one of the favorite parts of everything. We're going to be spending a lot of time on data modeling. I think data modeling is one of the most important things that you need to learn as a data engineer because your final outputs are data, right? Your product is data. So if you aren't using data in your data models, then or if you're not doing data modeling to your data, you're going to produce a shit product, and that's not good. And so we're going to be spending probably at least 2 weeks there. And then applying analytical patterns. This is a great week where we talk about things like growth accounting and advanced SQL. So growth accounting is a really powerful way that Facebook tracks user growth and the user journey. And then advanced SQL will be covering things like window functions and all the different kind of deeper SQL concepts to kind of get you to that next SQL level as well. We'll be talking about KPIs and experimentation. This is where it's like how to define a good experiment, how to define a good metric. These are going to be like really kind of like thinking like a product manager. That's a big thing you want to be thinking about in that space. It's like those product-minded data engineers are very, very powerful. We'll also be doing data visualization and impact. This is a lot about communication and pushing back and when to say no to low-value requests. And then we do a little bit of, we bust out Tableau just a little bit. We do like one lecture on Tableau. So get ready for that. Where we'll talk about the differences between like exploratory and executive dashboards. And then on the right side, we have more of the infrastructure track. We have unit testing PySpark pipelines. That's going to be really powerful stuff. We use a library called Chispa for that. And then we have data pipeline maintenance. It's going to be a good one where we cover things like runbook and on-call rotations and how to actually maintain your pipelines at scale. Then we're going to have a week that a lot of people are excited for is the Apache Spark fundamentals. It's going to be about 4 hours of content just going over Spark and everything you need to know about Spark and how to use Spark. And then after that, we'll be doing data quality patterns. The big thing here is we will be using Astronomer a little bit here, and we'll be using Astronomer in the cloud. And we will be learning a very powerful data quality pattern called Write, Audit, Publish. Write, Audit, Publish is a very great data quality pattern that you can learn to make sure that you don't publish bad data in production. And then, last but not least, we'll be spending about 4 hours of time on real-time pipelines with Flink and Kafka. For this segment, make sure that you have Docker set up. Docker is the most important for this last like real-time pipeline segment. This is where we need a lot of Docker, and like Spark also kind of needs Docker as well. So you can do, for the first week of the bootcamp, you can do a local setup with like stalling Postgres locally and just doing it that way, which is totally fine. And but like later on, you will have to use Docker because we do not have another setup for Spark and Flink. We only have one setup, and it's Docker. So don't think that you're going to get away with not using Docker in this bootcamp. Bootcamp structure. There's going to be essentially 2 ways that you can view this content. All the classes are pre-recorded, and 1 lesson will be uploaded each day. I'm gonna poll the audience here about that a little bit because I think there's another way that we could do this that might be better. We'll talk about that in a second. But you can find the videos. You can find the YouTube videos at youtube.com/exactly_. That's going to be a great place to look at it. You can also, if you're taking the class for credit and you want to get the certification, you're going to want to find the videos on /lessons. You're going to be able to find the content, and that's where there's time tracking. So we'll be able to get you closer to certification that way. And we have a schedule. So if you go to dataexpert.io or bootcamp.techcreator.io/schedule, that's where you can find the content schedule of like what we'll be publishing when. Should be pretty great. Each module has will have 2 lectures, right? So every lecture has a lab associated with it. So there's a lecture and then the lab. This is where the content schedule I'm going to pull with you guys, because like I advertise this as like 1 video a day for the rest of the year. Part of me feels like I should publish the lecture and lab together, and then we do a video. We do 2 videos like every other day, essentially, roughly speaking. It's the same thing. Like it will be the same content. It's just like how I put it out, because I think some of y'all will want to do like do it in a 2-hour block. We'll pull that in a second. And then the infrastructure required for each lab will be shared in the YouTube caption and on the it will also be on the lessons page if you are missing that. And definitely check out the Data Engineer Handbook. If you have not given that a star, that's the one thing I really ask of you here, is to star my GitHub repo. Like if you don't do that, if you like watch all my content and don't star my GitHub repo, that's a shame. That's honestly a shame. That's literally all I ask, is just click one button, and then that's all I want from you. So definitely check that stuff out. You're going to need to clone that repo and then also pull in updates, because we're going to be publishing the homework each week as that stuff comes up more online. A lot of you have been asking what the differences between the paid and free bootcamps are. Here are the big differences. So the paid or the free bootcamp, we have 6 weeks of detailed content, AI graded homework assignments, community and Discord, notifications via email and WhatsApp when new content drops. We do not have dedicated TA support. Do not DM me about questions. I will not answer them, because there's 10,000 of you and I cannot answer those questions. Don't make me regret freaking doing this. So like, ask the community, don't ask me, right? That is different. If you're in the paid bootcamp and you want to ask me a question, guess what? I will answer it, because you paid me money, right? But if you have not paid me anything, I'm not going to answer your question. That's a big difference. And we also have a set of TAs in the paid bootcamp who will also answer your question. A lot more dedicated support in that way. And another very big thing is the curricula is actually pretty different. So let's talk about what the paid bootcamp offers. The paid bootcamp is significantly different. There's a weekly Q&A, a weekly small audience Q&A with Zach. There's usually maybe 30 people who show up. There's 2 industry expert guest speakers each week. I always get the most banger guest speakers. Like literally every famous person that you can imagine in data engineering is at these, and you can ask them a question. And then the content is different. So in the paid bootcamp, we cover Snowflake, Trino, DBT. We cover Spark more in depth. We cover AWS Glue. That's how we deploy pipelines in the cloud with Spark. We cover Apache Iceberg in depth. We cover Spark streaming in depth and how to deploy real-time streaming pipelines in the cloud. We cover Kafka more in depth, and we cover Airflow more in depth. And all of this stuff gives you free access to the cloud, so you can deploy your pipelines to the cloud for free. Any pipeline you want, not just the homework. If you want to build a capstone project, or you want to build some funky little thing that is on the side, that's totally okay. And a lot of students are already doing that. So yeah, the free or the paid bootcamp comes with cloud support. You get cloud access for a year. And on top of that, you get access to paid APIs. So like Polygon. Polygon is a really powerful stock market API. And Scraping Dog is a very powerful social media API that you can get access to, which are paid. And then you can build pipelines on top of that to build richer, more interesting pipelines. It also comes with a capstone project that you will get dedicated feedback on. We will tell you if your capstone project is going to be good enough for an employer to be like, wow, this guy knows data engineering. Like I mentioned before, dedicated TA support. And then last but not least is if you get certified in bootcamp and you give all your effort in the paid bootcamp and you do all the homework and you do the capstone, then at the end of it, you will get mentorship and job interview training that will help you really get that last mile, that will get you from I know my skill, I have my skills, to I have a job. So I hope that this clears up any confusion from people of like how these things are different. Key differences, if you want to talk about it very succinctly, is paid bootcamp has a lot more support, a lot more humans involved. That's why it's paid, because I have to pay my people. The content is different. The content is in the cloud. The content is all about deploying stuff in the cloud and using the infrastructure that I have built up over the last 18 months. and then capstone project, and getting more feedback on building out like a portfolio and capstone project. Those are going to be the key differences between the paid and free bootcamp. Keeping in mind the paid bootcamp, we have about 25 seats left. So if you're interested in joining that, I suggest getting in fairly soon. How do study groups work? Reach out to people on the Discord through the global regions. Like it's best to try to find people in your study group, like, or in your region, so that like, because time zones, and some of you are in India, some of you are in Australia, some of you are in the United States, some of you are in Europe, right? And so it's like you want to kind of work with people who are in your time zone. That's better. And definitely recommend doing that. And don't reach out to me. I needed to update this slide. Don't reach out to me with questions. Do not do that. I will not answer. We learn together here on Data Expert, right? And if there are people who are spamming, right, in the Discord channel, we will kick them out. Like, understand that like it's going to be you need patience with this stuff, and that like people, and like you need to figure out some of this stuff yourself. Like this is not just on it's not just on the community to help solve your problems. Like you should struggle with it, and because within that struggle and in that pain is learning. That's how I learned data engineering, and I know that's how you can learn it too. I'm giving you the guidance and the roadmap, but you still have to walk the road. So know that, and do not spam anything else in the community. Do not try to sell anything. If you do any of that, you will be banned immediately. You'll be done. Zero tolerance on that. Awesome. Thank you very much. Okay, how to submit homework at the end of each week. So we will be opening up the homework, and it will be submitted via the assignments, right? So you will need to go to bootcamp.techcreator.io/assignments. You'll see it in the dashboard. It should be pretty easy to find. And you essentially need to upload a zip file. So you upload a zip file of all of the required files, and then that will kick off an OpenAI job to look at if your solution is correct. And it usually takes OpenAI about 2 minutes to get back to you to grade your homework. Remember, don't submit extra shit. Don't submit, like, if you zip your whole folder and you zip all of the files, including all the stuff that like OpenAI might not need, then like it's just not going to work, because OpenAI has a limit on how many characters you can upload. So be very careful about that, because it will just fail. Make sure that you only upload the files that are required and asked of you in the GitHub repo. The homework will be found also in the Data Engineer Handbook. Make sure to star it, like I said before. Yeah, homework is going to be great. I think we're going to be grading hundreds of thousands of homework assignments in this bootcamp. So I'm really excited for you to get feedback on that as well. We will be releasing the first homework assignment for grading. So the actual homework assignment is already out there on the Data Engineer Handbook. We will open up submissions for that fairly soon. So there's going to be 2 certificates here. If you want the I watched all the videos certificate, you can get that. I don't know. I consider that the same as like the participation trophy. I mean, it's a vibe. It's a vibe. It counts for something. But if you want to actually get like a certificate that matters, you're going to need to do all the homework. And so that's where you'll see on the dashboard page, there will be 2 things, 2 criteria. You'll see a homework criteria as well as an attendance criteria. And you're going to need to do both of those in order to get certified. So that's going to be something to be thinking about as you go through all of this content and you are seeing what's out there. Like really try to go for that higher level certificate, because that's because most of you aren't going to get it. There's like more than 10,000 of you in here. If I had to guess, I would guess that the number of people who actually get certified out of 10,000, right, is like 300 or 400 of you, right? And it's like, if you get certified, the thing is like, that's great. And I'm going to put you on a list and help you with things later on. I promise it'll be worth it. If you get certified, it will help you in different ways and maybe unexpected ways in the future as I build up more of my recruiting and hiring funnels and all these other things that are kind of very early on in my business model right now. But getting certified early will definitely help you there. So yeah, don't just watch the videos. So this free bootcamp is not just me. We have a whole stack of humans who are involved here. So we have me, we have Matali. Matali is awesome. She's been working for the company for Data Expert almost since the beginning, since like July 2023, since we filmed this content essentially. And then we have Wesley. Wesley is a lot of the AI grading, the AI grading that you will see. Wesley is the owner of that. And then we have Wan Wu, who is he has owned a lot of the infrastructure pieces of this bootcamp, a lot of stuff around Flink and Kafka and Spark, stuff like that. So this is our team. I'm very grateful that you have been here listening to this presentation today. I am very excited to get this rolling with you. It's going to be a really great time. Make sure to invite your friends because keeping in mind that this is free. It's free. So, and I think that that's something that you will find a lot of value in. So, yeah, I'm going to